Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back. Our guest today is Nicholas Tartaglia. Nick is the founder of the former New Gen Mindset podcast, focused on wealth and sovereignty. He is also a macro analyst and behavioral economist. One of his books is called The Intelligent Millennial. Welcome back to the show, Nick.
Hey man, how you been?
Yeah, I've been really good. I wanted to get you down and talk about everything that's happening in silver and gold, and everything that's happening with the Federal Reserve and interest rates. First, though, let's start off with silver and gold. Silver in the past couple of weeks hit that high of almost hit $39, and
Yeah.
people thought it was going to be a breakout. Now we're touching the 36, 37 levels again. Is this normal? Are you seeing a price smackdown? What are your thoughts on silver right now?
Well, I would expect this. I don't think the breakthrough would be a clear, direct, straight through $40, which would probably lead to $50. With the way the market's been going, with the fact it's sort of been going sideways for as long as it has been, I think that the excitement is there, but I think that we should be excited to see a clean breakthrough and that it holds above it. A quick rush above $40 could easily have it pull back below. So I don't mind it slowly taking its time to get there. Plus, if we look at gold, gold's been kind of going sideways for a bit too now. Silver had its moment. I think it's kind of now balancing out with the way gold's been going sideways. And
Yeah.
with the kind of the way the Fed rate has been going, now we're seeing a lot of the central banks kind of pausing, other than in like Europe. But in Canada, USA, we're basically pausing the lowering the rates, and I think that's just a byproduct of the fact that they're not really forward looking. They're just waiting for the data to come in from behind them to say, okay, now we're starting to see the market move sideways or downwards. We need that stimulation. So I think it's just a matter of time, and that's what I believe. I really fundamentally believe it's going to be a matter of time, probably the end of this year, early next year. The inflationary cycle is coming in waves. You had it 20 as a consequence of what we did in 2020. It lasted for about 2.5 years, kind of slowed down, came back down. But the thing is, the frequency in which we're going to experience inflation or inflationary cycles is going to be much, much quicker and faster than in the past. And this
Right.
is going to be a byproduct of, we just saw America just crossed $37 trillion. That's going to have a consequence. With all the debt in the system, with interest rates as high as they are, this is why, I think Trump is so obsessed with rates going down, is he knows there's so much debt. He knows the government has a massive interest cost, and there's so much real estate at risk with these higher interest rates that lower rates just eases the problem of the real estate market and creates the temporary solution you need for a lot of the debt problem in the West.
Well, what's the solution for Trump right now in office, or what's the solution for this debt bubble that's, $37 trillion dollars is no joke. When we were younger, we thought billions of dollars was a tremendous amount of money. Now we're hitting 37 trillion. We had the big beautiful bill that passed, so you're going to see even more debt pass through. Obviously, Trump is worried about the interest rates being high, and he wants Powell to lower them. What's the end game for the U.S.? How can Trump solve all of this, or any administration solve this?
See, the thing is, I think that the Pandora's box has been open. We got to a point now where we've caused so much international geopolitical conflict. Like we just saw what happened with Cambodia and Thailand. The next stage of this geopolitical conflict was Asia. And this opens a door now for potentially China with Taiwan, North Korea, and other East Asian countries. And the issue with this environment is that governments and economies cannot experience a deflationary cycle in the midst of a period of time where they have to be flexible, liquid, and spending money to mitigate those geopolitical consequences. So I know for a fact that the last thing they want to experience is deflation. We see it in the way that America is boosting their GDP. Oh, look at the GDP is going up higher and it's better, as if somehow GDP is the real metric of economic strength. It never has been and never should be. It's a Keynesian metric that can be easily distorted with debt. And that's where America is. So much more debt, higher GDP. It's not, and what's funny is in America is, Trump before the election, before winning, he said he cared about the debt and that it was a problem.
Right.
I don't think that has become the objective anymore because they're not showing through action that is what they fundamentally care about. With the tariffs that coming in and they're making record surplus now, what did Trump just announce? That they'd rather give the money back as paycheck to the citizens than use it to pay off the debt. They're
Right.
playing the game of welfarism. They're buying as citizens for votes instead of saying, you know what? We care. The debt is too much. Let's use this surplus. Let's pay off the debt while we decrease taxes. You know, Milton Friedman said it beautifully once. He said, doesn't matter what government does in terms of cutting taxes. Look at what they're spending and look at the debt. That
Yeah.
is the real cost of a citizen. And those metrics are not on the side of the American citizen. Neither it is for Canadian citizens. So this is why I'm saying with the geopolitical environment that we're in, still expanding, growing, with the environment of government spending as they are, not actually doing what they have to do fundamentally solve these problems, gold and silver still has plenty of space to do well.
Hello, my fellow silver and gold stacker. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, please like the video, and also hit the notification bell. Keep stacking. Yeah, you know, it's you really made me think while you were talking about that. Like, you know, do you think Trump and this administration is, oh, and not just, let's just not put it on Trump, but let's talk about every administration with this debt and the central banks. Do you think that the presidents, once they get in power, they say, you know what, this is hopeless. Like, how are we going to pay off a $37 trillion debt? The only way to keep the economy going and the only way to keep this, this circus going is to print more debt, to put more money into the system to prop up the economy. Because the second you try to cut debt or pay down debt, that's when maybe a recession or a slowdown. Yeah. So that maybe they just feel hopeless.
Correct. Well, think about it. Trump coming into the office. Now, again, people often might assume that me talking about these issues that I have with Trump is if somehow he is not the solution or he was a better alternative to what the Democrats were. Absolutely not. By far, I always compare it as Democrats are like a 10, 15% inflation, while the Republicans are like a 3, 4, 5% inflation. They are still consequential in their actions,
Yeah.
but they are not the worst there is. There's far worse. So the issue is now is trying to make the Republicans understand their problem and what they're doing because they still have socialist principles in their action or welfarism that if they understand these consequences, they can become more aggressive. So Trump cutting in his second term, which is his last term, he's between a rock and a hard place because now the issue is playing this whole I am greater for the economy game that if he comes in and actually does what he's supposed to do, which is decrease government employment, decrease spending, decrease the deficit, decrease the debt, you are asking for a deflationary spiral
Right.
because you have to undo the system from all these consequences. But the thing is, if he does that, the political narrative flips on him. It becomes you are terrible for the economy because people now, for some reason, have assumed that some sort of deflation or recession is a negative thing. But that's a healthy process of eliminating bad investments in the economy. But we've
Absolutely.
completely hidden away from that.
Welcome to the Cayman Islands, a premier offshore jurisdiction where natural beauty meets financial stability. Here, your wealth is more than secure. It thrives in one of the most trusted and respected financial centers in the world. For over a decade, SWP has been the trusted choice for precious metal investors worldwide. Our purpose-built 6,000 square foot facility sets a new standard in precious metals storage. We are proud to be one of the only vault operators approved by the London Bullion Market Association. Beyond safeguarding your assets, we're committed to making a difference in our community by supporting local causes and events that reflect our values. As we continue to expand and innovate our services, we ensure that your wealth is safe and strategically positioned to shield you from the uncertainties that lie ahead. Strategic wealth preservation, trusted today and ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. You really nailed it because let's look back in history to the 70s when Volcker came. He had to raise interest rates to levels never seen before, but you needed a recession to come in and take out all the bad debt and all the bad blood and basically drain any of the sewage. So that way you could restart the economy to have another healthy economy. Now let's get back to a little bit of silver and gold. You know, the fundamentals for silver and gold will never change. You know, it's so important right now for people to own silver and gold to protect their purchasing power. What advice can you give new people coming into silver and gold, or even people who still been stacking silver and gold for many years? What advice would you give them? What guidance would you give them?
Don't stop. This has history for thousands of years for a specific reason. This is not something I came to understand 10 years ago. This is something I've come to understand over the last couple of years, maybe roughly 5 years. But once I've understood it, there's no looking back. I want to be my own central bank. I want to build my own reserves. I want to build my own liquidity, my own flexibility. I am outside of the system because I do not need the system. The system doesn't take care of my pension. It will not take care of it. It does not take care of my savings, and I am not indebted to it. There's a bank crisis. I am not exposed to it. I have cash,
Wow.
gold, silver, US dollars, Canadian dollars. I've got my investments outside the bank at in brokerage accounts that I can pull out anywhere I want. For me, it's gold and silver's utility function. It serves a purpose for economic wealth and economic store and the storage of economic wealth. And that is the game I am playing. Do not lose hope. To really help people on this understanding too, is there's a series that I keep mentioning oftentimes. I probably mentioned it here before, is the Hidden Secrets of Money series by Mike Maloney.
Yeah.
It does a beautiful job of exploring the history of gold. Gold and silver are part of our history for a reason. Don't go against it. Trust that process and make it a part of your financial wealth and freedom. It will not fail you. Over the long term, don't look at it for yourself. Look for yourself, your children, and the family around you. You will feel more secure. There's nothing better than when you get an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver and you have your own stack and your own reserve. It feels good to have that. And it's a smart move to have it because you don't depend on anything else. It's your own resource.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Now, I really want people to connect with you on your platform, and I want them to read your books and connect with you on social media. So before you go, I'm going to put your links in the description below, but where can people find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Imperium_mind. You can also find me on Instagram at Nick Tartaglia. There you will also find links to my books. My first one, which is The Intelligent Millennial. The second one is the Millennial Economics, Structuring Economic Consciousness Individuals. And you can also find my Substack, which is where I write my monthly global macro report on there, covering subjects such as politics, culture, and economics, because the world is a byproduct of human activity. So the window of politics, the window of culture is also the window of economics. They all touch the overall fundamental outcome. And that's where you can find me in my work and where I post all the time.
You know what, Nick? I want to thank you so much for coming down and speaking to the silver and gold community and the investing community. Everyone watching this, highly recommend you to go follow Nick's work. Links in the description below. Everyone like and subscribe the video. And yeah, Nick, as everything develops in the markets for precious metals, for financials, would really love to have you back on in the future.
Of course, always.
Talk to you soon.